I like to tour the back roads of Florida. You know, stop and see lovely little places like the Hungryland Wildlife Development. I'm lying, I broke down. I don't know, how much of a story it's going to be, but vintage motorcycling, it's wonderful. It's awesome. I have tremendous pride in my 1980 FLT, which is why I parked it on the side. Nope, I'm lying again. I broke down. There's no way to spin this. I put it would be about 300 miles on my FLT in the last couple of days. Just having a nice time. Rode it with Jason on his 71 and then rode it to Treasure Coast and back and just having a nice time. And as I'm leaving Treasure Coast, I was like, wow, the clutch is awful light. And then it got lighter and lighter and lighter, and then I didn't have a clutch. And so I stopped, and the wife, because I'm an idiot, something that you should do, and again, don't be like me, be better than me. I left the house without my toolkit. I have a toolkit, a tool roll, and I left it. So she ran up to AutoZone, got me some wrenches, and I went to work on the clutch cable, because I'm like, I think it's just loosened up. That's what it feels like. Clutch cable's just loosened up. It's not actuating. And I got a little bit out of it, but I'm like, still something ain't right. So I'm riding home, and I'm like getting through lights. So the missus was just the greatest blocker I've ever ridden with. She like got me through intersections and stuff. And I'm riding down Beeline Highway, which is pretty freaking rural. It's nice, but it's pretty rural. And I just went to grab the thing just to test it, and I had nothing. Like it went all the way to the handle, and I'm like, that's the adjuster in the derby cover. So I think I've explained this before in videos, and some of you probably know, so, I'm not telling you because I don't think you know, but in case you don't, when you pull that handle, a lever pulls, which pushes a rod through, and that's what actually sort of hits an adjustable bolt inside on the left side and separates the clutch discs. Well, that adjuster can back out. It shouldn't. If it's done right and it's locked down, it shouldn't back out, but it can. So I'm fairly certain what I'm looking at here is an adjuster that's backing out. Now, even though she was running, going on the road, I got it in fourth gear and I'm in the middle of nowhere, I had this epiphany where I'm like, I'm in a rural area where I can stop easily, right? You need to plan for that sort of stuff. This can be stressful, this sort of vintage biking. And I'm like, okay, so I'm going to place I can stop. I'm 30 miles from home. I got an area here I saw a sign for that's safe. And if that adjuster on the left side backs all the way out and comes out, she's going to grind up in the clutch basket. So to avoid that problem, I stopped. And the wife went on. She's on the way home right now. She's with me. And she's grabbing me wrenches and hex head bits and everything I think I'm going to need. Because if I take that derby cover off and see that that's halfway backed out, then there's my problem. I run it back in, lock it back down, and go home. And then probably red Loctite it and see why it backed out in the first place. Again, I never been inside the derby cover in this bike. So it could have just been the mechanic that did all the rebuild stuff before I bought it from the other guy. Maybe he just didn't lock it down. Maybe jam nut's not on. Maybe, who knows. But all I need to do is limp it home and then I can get into it. But I'm supposed to load it for Leesburg like tomorrow, so that's a thing. So I guess we'll wait for her to get back, which will probably be about an hour. Figure in the meantime, may as well go on some forced tourism. Because this is the John C. and Mariana Jones Hungryland. Gator's gonna kill me. Hungryland Wildlife and Environmental Area. Florida Fish and Wildlife. So let's go see if we can see any gators. That's a thing. Responsible recreation on conservation land. No motor. See, I was thoughtful. I pre-broke mine, so I don't have that problem. Another good thing is how smart my wife is. When she got me those wrenches, she got me a Coke, so I'm not gonna die of dehydration out here. This is freaking beautiful. There's even a bathroom. I'm covered. I might just live here now. Some sort of cabin, like a camping, or like a grill, a historic marker. Look, if you're gonna break down, do it my way. Break down with class. Everything I do is classy. I'm sick of my own bullshit sometimes. Found some shade, moved the bike, so now it's in a more comfy location. Oh, just got the notice that the wife got home, so now I should only be another 40 minutes. Hope the sun holds out. If it's what I think it is, it's a minute to fix it. Once I get the derby cover off, and I just run that back in, tighten it back down, and we roll. So, but then I'll spend the next couple hours convincing my wife that it's okay to take this to Leesburg. It was a dumb breakdown. It wasn't a serious problem. It was a poorly done maintenance item. But I have this interesting look at this little ditch of the Everglades here, and I give it a 20% chance that a gator just appears. I mean, like, that's the loudest semi I've ever heard in my life. Look, just says it could happen. I mean, I've seen horror films. I watch a lot of horror films, and the guy with the machete comes out of there. But then again, I am not a pretty girl, so the chances of my dying at the hands of a psychopath in the woods are less. Because we all know how horror films work. You have to be a pretty girl who just gave it up, and that's when you die. So that hasn't happened, that's for sure. So we'll just sit waiting for tool. This is the way the video is going to be for a while. Me just rambling to myself. Just finished my tool order. Nicest dude just came by. Something I've noticed that doesn't happen. No one has checked to see if I'm okay. Like, one guy just now was coming in, and he stopped, and he did the whole, like, yeah, you all right? And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. But, like, no one. Then again, I guess it does kind of look like I'm just chilling here on the side of the road. But when did we stop doing that? Just thought of something I'm never going to live down. Wife's about 20 minutes out. All day, many times today, I've told my wife, this old bike just wants to ride, man. I'm so excited because it's just dialed in. You know, she's just, yeah. Wing, wing. Anyway, yeah. She's never gonna let me live that down. Like, this is. No, she's dialed in. That's what I'm gonna hear. You're gonna hear it. Wait, watch. When I'm fixing it and I've got the camera, you'll hear. See what it tells me? It's the actuator on the other side. I should not be able to move that like that. That's there's no resistance. So there's nothing pushing. So, in theory, I'm gonna be able to crack that open. Hopefully nothing's exploded in there. That's a whole other issue. Let's see, first gate. Ah, we got it. We made a new friend. See you, buddy. Are you mad at me? No. So it's fixed. That was Bill. Bill watches the channel. Bill was sitting at the what they call a club shell up here to the Shell station. And he's on the social medias, and he had seen this one go by at Mach 4 on the orange bike and thought, seemed like she was riding with purpose. And then goes through Instagram and sees my reel that I was broken down. And he goes, I know that spot. He's at Hungryland. So he literally, that's what this place is called, jumped on his 57 Panhead, rode up here and just sat with me while she brought tools. So we were talking, so I didn't video it. But I don't know if I was right, but I feel like I was right. It fixed it for now. So I essentially took off the floorboard, took off the 3 Allen bolts, took the cover off, and there's that adjuster bolt. And backed off the jam nut, screwdrivered it in, and yeah, I could watch the handle, which I had pulled all the way back. As I drove that in, you could watch the handle come out. So now we got full clutch. Now, what could be happening, and Bill was telling me, hopefully not the case, it could be the throwout bearing on the right side of the transmission over here. I really don't think that's it. That's what it is, because there was a brand new clutch in there. The clutch had just been done, new springs and everything. So I'd imagine that's all been checked. It's just that the jam nut came loose and it backed out. So it's not just your cable that you adjust your clutch with. It's that not the other side. I'm tired. All right. So it's Friday. Sure, it's time for drinks. All right. So I hope this was entertaining. I'll wait till we get home before I check. I'm gonna let me get home before I didn't
even get a ticket racing home.
I saw you doing 84 on the way here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, well, I'll see you when you get home to make sure. It's not fixed. So I'm riding home, power shifting through gears and downshifting, and the wife is trying to block for me and stuff, because I just got to get it home. The throwout variant's evidently toast. I'm praying. I propose a new sport. The wife agrees with me. Clutchless time trials. I just rode 38? 30? Well, no, I had a clutch for about 2 miles. That's true. So about 36 miles with no clutch. The first 10 to 12 was fairly rural, not a problem. The last 20, stoplights, traffic, this, that, dude, I'm telling you what, I would see a red light, I'd slow down, I'm jamming through gears, and then just like butting along, waiting for it to turn green, and hit it like It was almost
Yeah.
exciting.
Not from where I was, let me tell you.
She ran block. You saved me. The only thing you did, when we got to the subdivision, I figured you'd wait for me. Anyway, it was fine. It all worked out great. So she ran block and saved the day. And it's a throwout bearing. So we're going to go ahead and take care of the situation now, not fix the bike. We're going to move the chopper, get the street glide off, because the S&S air cleaner came today. I don't know if you saw that video. Like, I was stressing about that. It didn't even show it's shipped, and it's here. So we'll get the street glide down. I'll take the street glide to Leesburg, and we're going to go ahead and push the shovel onto the lift, because when I get home from Leesburg at some point, I'm going to have to tear into the right side of that transmission and do the throwout bearing, all that stuff. So I bet you, what Bill said, I bet you that it ground the push rod, too, by doing that. Anyway, so...
Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill, again. It was good meeting Bill. That was fun. Anyway, so there's the situation. The shovel's broke for a little while. Love you all to death. Take care of each other out there. We'll talk real soon.